storm had grown fierce. Thunder rolled across the mountains, and rain struck the castle walls like waves crashing against stone. Inside the castle, the fairies rushed through the corridors, guiding the young fairy carefully toward the healing tower, the only place strong enough to protect the magical birth. But the journey was slow. Her belly was heavy and tight now, the child inside pressing downward as the pains came closer together. She gripped the arm of one elder fairy while another supported her back. Every few steps she had to stop and breathe. The pain was growing stronger. When they finally reached the healing tower, something immediately felt wrong. Wind rushed through the room. Curtains were whipping wildly. The lanterns flickered as cold rain blew across the stone floor. One of the elder fairies looked up in shock. The windows, they're open. Another fairy rushed toward them, struggling against the violent wind to close them. But the storm had already entered the tower. The entire structure trembled. As they fought the wind, one of the elder fairies suddenly noticed something. The window locks had been deliberately broken. This wasn't the storm, she said with alarm. Someone did this. A quiet fear spread through the room. Someone inside the castle had tried to sabotage the birth. But there was no time to search for the culprit. Another cry from the young fairy echoed through the tower. The baby was coming. The young fairy was lying on a soft bed prepared in the center of the tower. Her wings trembled slightly as another wave of pain surged through her body. Her hands clutched the sides of her large belly as she tried to breathe through the pressure. I can't stop it," she whispered. One of the elder fairies knelt beside her, holding her hand. "You're doing well," she said gently. "Your body knows what to do." Outside, lightning lit the room in bright flashes. Inside, the young fairy closed her eyes and focused on breathing. Minutes passed that felt like hours. The pain became deeper and stronger. Her body was working hard now. The baby pressed downward again, and she cried out softly as another contraction came. One elder fairy placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're very close now." The young fairy nodded weakly, sweat forming on her forehead as she gathered her strength. She placed both hands on her belly and whispered softly to the child inside. "Come safely, my little one." The storm outside roared louder. The tower trembled again, but inside the room, the fairies focused only on one thing: helping the young mother bring her child into the world. Now, the eldest fairy said calmly, "Push." The young fairy cried out as she pushed with all the strength left in her body. Another contraction came immediately after. Then another. And finally, a small cry filled the tower. For a moment, everything became quiet. Even the storm seemed distant. The elder fairy carefully lifted the newborn child and wrapped it in soft glowing cloth. The baby's tiny cry echoed gently through the tower roof. The young fairy looked up with tired eyes. Is the baby safe?" The elder fairy smiled warmly. "Yes." She placed the child gently in the mother's arms. "You have a daughter." Tears filled the young fairy's eyes as she held the baby close to her chest. The long months of waiting, the pain, the fear, all of it had led to this moment. As the mother held her child, something strange happened. The violent wind outside slowly began to calm. The rain softened. The thunder faded into the distance. The storm that had threatened the birth was slowly passing. The fairies looked at each other in quiet relief. Hope had been born. Far below the tower, hidden in the shadows of the castle, the human man watched the storm fade. He had failed. The child had been born. But as he looked toward the glowing tower above, a strange uncertainty crossed his face. For the first time in many years, he wondered if he might have been wrong about magic.